What's up, guys? It's Simon. So, I know the lighting's really crappy. Unfortunately, with the other social media stuff I was doing today, I did not have the chance to film while the light was still out. But I really wanted to get this video done, and I have a little announcement that I want to make. I'm probably going to make that a separate video, though, just so it can be on its own and not take away from this one. And, whoops. So I want to let you guys know that I'm going to be talking today about the sun phases. This is going to be the last YouTube Pagan Challenge video that I do for this month. From now on, I'm going to be doing them every month. So February will be kind of the next one. But what I'm going to be doing is the next 4 questions that come after this one, I'm going to put together into one video. So it's going to be more like a YouTube Pagan Challenge montage. And that's going to happen every month until I'm done. And the reason why I'm doing that is because it's just, it's hard for me to remember to do it every week, and I don't like how it's taking up my time and space from putting out original content. So I really wanted to and even though I'm technically answering these in an original content, so to speak, way, the theme isn't very original, and so I'm not getting a lot of views on them. And not that that's a real big deal, but, it does kind of feel like it defeats the purpose on making the video. As much as I enjoy videos and I do it for my own enjoyment, I like sharing too, and if people aren't watching, and then the sharing's not really going on, you know what I mean? So, I'm going to do this sun phases one, and then I'm going to be done for this month. Next month is going to be another montage YouTube Pagan Challenge video. And like I said, I'm going to be doing an announcement in a separate video. And I can't really give you a definite time on those YouTube Pagan Challenge videos because, they're just going to be around when Simon Says is, and that's on the full moon, so that changes every month. So it's either going to be before or after that, and then I'm going to have original content thrown in between. I think that's pretty much the gist of it, so without further ado, let's continue with the video. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Before I go into the sun phases, there is a little correction, I guess, that I want to do with that moon phase video that I did. I'm also going to put this information in a comment and pin it to the top of the comments, so that way anyone who watches that video will hopefully see it and get the accurate information. But, if you remember, I was having a real problem telling you guys my time frame for each moon phase, and that's because I had a lot of scratching out and rewriting and different information written in each area because I was still kind of trying to plan it and figure it out in my head and what resonated with me and what made sense and all that. And I actually had this sun phase note paper in there, but I didn't realize that I had the final version of the moon phase dates on the back. So I technically had the information there, but because I separated it to have it for this video, which is separate from the moon phase one, I did not realize that I misinformed you, at least in regards to my practice. Maybe the information I shared is relevant and resonates with you, but I did technically misinform you. So I'm going to, like I said, write this information, a comment, and pin it to the top of that video, and then I'm also going to share it here, so that way, most likely, anyone and everyone who's watched that video will get the correct information in regards to my practice. I hope that made sense. So, with the dark moon, that is, well, first off, I round this up for 30 days, so, because it's technically 29.5, that's how many days the moon phase, does its complete cycle. So I rounded it up to 30, and so from the 30th, which would be 29.5, to day 2, that counts as 3 days, so to speak. So that's the time frame for the dark moon. So day 1 would be the middle date. That would be the day of the actual dark moon. Now, if you don't know what I mean by that, I am talking about the new moon in that case. So the next one is the waxing crescent that lasts for 5 days. So that would be from the 3rd to the 7th. Then we have the first quarter, which again will last for 3 days from the 8th to the 10th. Waxing gibbous is 3 days from the 11th to the 13th. The full moon is from the 14th to the 16th, again 3 days. Then we have the waning gibbous, which lasts 5 days, the 17th to the 21st. The last quarter, or some say third quarter, at least I've heard that every now and then. 22nd to 24th, so again 3 days, and then we have another 5-day session with the waning crescent. And like I said, that will be in a comment on the moon phase video, and it will be pinned to the top so that way everyone can see it. You know, just in case someone doesn't watch this video or whatever. And do forgive me for that misinformation. It was not intentional. I usually try to be much more thorough with my videos, but I kind of just... That moon phase information just was really sloppy and it was difficult to read. I probably should have rewrote it before sharing it with you guys so it would have been much more fluid, but I didn't do that. So with this sun phase information, it's, you know, I'm not going to really go into it that much because a lot of it is the same energy as the moon phase. It's just in sun form. So basically I'm just going to go over time frames, and each time frame kind of basically has the same word theme. Okay, so instead of that going through a month like with the moon phase, it's going to go through a day. So we're going to start off with the equivalent of the dark moon, which I believe, if I remember correctly, was the transition word theme. And that is midnight, which is from 12 a.m. to 2 p.m., excuse me, 2 a.m., and that is a 2-hour bracket. Like I said, that's the time of transition. If you wanted to, you could do it on a Sunday to increase that sun energy, that male, divine masculine energy. And so what you would do is, you could sleep all day Saturday or whatever, and I suggest doing this on, like, I don't know, a Monday holiday, so you don't have to go to work or school on Monday. Maybe you have winter break or whatever, I don't know, maybe you have vacation, I don't know, but basically make sure that you have off on Monday and that you're not doing anything Saturday, so that way you can rest on Saturday and then spend the whole day on Sunday staying up, manifesting your intention. Okay, so like I said, midnight is from 12 a.m. to 2 a.m., that 2-hour bracket. This could be when you're transitioning your energy from the mundane into the spiritual. Okay, so that way you're getting your mind ready to do your manifestation for the week, for the month, for the year, whatever suits you. Then we have twilight, which is from 2 to 4 a.m., another 2-hour bracket. And this is your preparation phase. So this is similar to the waxing crescent, I believe. So this is where you're starting to prepare, maybe get your incense or your candle or whatever you feel you need. Get a notepad and paper and just let ideas flow through your head. Don't really come up with a plan or what exactly it is you want to manifest. Just, you know, jot whatever thoughts and ideas come in your head, okay? Just prepare yourself for the ritual for when you're about to actually manifest. Then we have dawn, which is from 4 to 7 a.m. This is a 3-hour bracket. This is the fertilization. So this is when you start honing in on what you want to manifest in your life. So you start saying, okay, I'm not really ready to manifest this. So you go through the list of ideas that you've written down or whatever, or you create a list of ideas and you start crossing off what you don't want to, circling what you do want to. You know, you get the idea. Okay, so then we go to morning, which is from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m., which is a 4-hour bracket. This is the creation phase, and this is where you're going to be doing, this is why it has the most amount of hours, is because this is going to be where you're really doing crunch time, so to speak. So this is, fertilization, and especially the creation phase is a good time to be calling on the God energy or whatever spirits energies that you want to be working with to really help you figure out the how and to really sketch a blueprint of what it is you have to do to make this happen. So not only are you doing magical work and setting intentions and releasing energies and creating and manifesting an energy to release it of what it is you want to happen, you're also creating kind of like a to-do list and a timeline format of what you specifically have to do, who you have to get involved with or get uninvolved with to make it happen. Then we have, then we have midday, which is from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is the another 2-hour bracket. This is equivalent to the full moon, so this is the manifestation time. This is basically where you release that energy. Okay, you've gone through with a fine-tooth. This is also a time where you go with a fine-tooth comb, make sure everything is, squared away. It's kind of like you're doing your final draft of a research paper. Okay, so you just go through all that, get that squared away, and then you just release it. And this is why it's a 2-hour bracket, because you really don't have much left to do. It's pretty much all been done already. This is just the releasing phase, and some people may take the 2 hours to do the releasing. Maybe they're maybe they're verbalizing everything that's on their timeline to-do list or whatever, whatever suits you. Okay, so after that we have evening, which is 1 to 5 p.m., another 4-hour bracket. This is equivalent to the waning gibbous, and this is the gratification. So this is kind of where it's the beginning of your decompression. So you're decompressing from the manifestation. If you want to, this could be a good time to do your cakes and ale, just like if you're, well, I guess it'd be a little different with the month, wouldn't it? But with this time, you could be doing your cakes and ale, and this is where you're just, okay, it's kind of like the give and take. So you've been doing that, taking from source to create what it is you want in life. Now it's time to give back, and that could be by saying thank you, that can be by, like I said, cakes and ale, giving a libation. There's a whole bunch of things you could do. You could be burning an incense at this time. You're really just, oh, what's the word? There's a universal law, and I can't remember what it's called, but it has to do with giving and taking, and I think it's called the law of rhythm. Kind of like when the pendulum swings one way, it comes back the other way. That's basically what I'm referring to. I hope that made sense. So now we have dusk. This can go about 2 ways depending on how you go about this. You have 5 to 8 p.m. It's a 3-hour bracket. This is redirection. So if you've been doing all this stuff since Saturday night, from, well, basically early Sunday morning at 12 a.m. to now, then your redirection would be preparing to close the circle if you cast one, getting out of that spiritual mode, coming back to the mundane state. Now, another way you could do this, if you have not been able to do it all this way, and maybe you're not going to be working for the next day or two, so you can have some time to do this, what you can do is your redirection would then be transitioning from the, not transition, excuse me, directing your focus from the mundane to your spiritual world. So that could be the 2 ways that you do this. So this is kind of like this one and the next one can kind of be done in 2 ways depending on your situation. Maybe you had to work on Sunday, or you were busy on Sunday, so you weren't able to do it the way I've just suggested. But you can try it this way, redirecting your energy to being spiritual, and then you would kind of do it like a catch-up, so to speak. This could also be a good time to do, maybe, if you didn't want to do it in the gratification, you could also do the libation, cakes and ale at this time. This is also a good meal time, so maybe you could actually just do it as a meal replacement, if you decided to fast all day or whatever. So there's a bunch of ways that you can go about this. And I hope I'm not rambling and sounding too all over the place. I kind of feel like it. Last one we have is night, 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. This is your 4-hour section. This is a regeneration phase. So if you've been staying up the entire time, this could be where you've closed the circle and now you're just gonna take your shower and you're gonna completely decompress, maybe watch some Netflix and chill, oh, excuse me, or read a book, do something that's very, very low key. This is equivalent to the waning crescent when, if you remember, it was really about relaxation, okay? So you're doing very, very minimal activity. Remember the transition with midnight was equivalent to the dark moon. That's a time of, stillness. You're not really doing anything at all. You're just kind of being and getting ready to move. So the regeneration is like that just before doing nothing. Okay, so like I say, you could take a shower, take a bath, read, watch Netflix, watch TV, I don't know, or just go to bed. I mean, that could really just be the whole thing right there. And then, so that would be 4 hours. And then if, you've already done your things, you won't necessarily have to do it again. So during the transition and preparation phases, that would be another 4 hours, so you'd get your 8 hours of sleep. And then you'd be, if, you went to bed at 8 p.m., that is, you would be able to get up roughly around 4 a.m. and maybe do something similar along the process. Now, if you have not been able to stay up the entire time, like the second suggestion I gave you with redirection, with regeneration is regenerate that energy to towards your spirituality. Okay? So if you've been working or busy all day and you're coming into this at 5 p.m.-ish or up anywhere from the 5 to 8 p.m., then you would be redirecting your energy from the mundane world to the spiritual world. If you're coming into it at the regeneration phase from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m., then you could regenerate this, like maybe, I don't know, say some incantations, say some invocations, evocations, prayers, mantras, chants, incantations. There's a whole bunch of things you can do. So that could be a way that you regenerate, where you just, you could cast your circle. Just do stuff like that. That just, not necessarily stuff that calls for a lot of energy, but just kind of like, I guess you could say pre-prep work. Or maybe regenerate could be, I don't know, maybe doing a pre-bath. You could do that too, like, what's it called? I think it's called a spiritual bath. I don't really tend to do that stuff because it doesn't work, or rather resonate with me, but I know a lot of people tend to talk about spiritual baths with the Florida water and, I don't know, a bunch of other waters that I'm not familiar with. But that could be another way that you go about this. And then, we go back into midnight from 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. transition. So the cycle starts again. Now, this is not something you would probably want to do every single day or even 2 or 3 times a week, because, if you're doing it the whole time, that is. Now, what you could do is maybe you're not able to do the whole thing at once, so maybe you do go to bed at roughly 8 p.m. or somewhere around that 8 p.m., 12 a.m. bracket. So then you probably are waking up between that 4 to 7 a.m. bracket. If you're waking up, I'd say 6 to 6:30 a.m., then you could still do that fertilization where you're setting your intention for the day. Like, I don't know. I know a lot of people are starting to do pagan prayer beads or intention beads or your mala beads. You could again say chants and mantras. You could do stuff like that. And then go through the rest of them until you go to bed. You could do it that way too. Or you could just jump into one sun phase and then jump back out. You don't have to necessarily do all of them. I just wanted to kind of share with you some ideas of how I would do it. I have not, if I'm going to be completely honest, I have not done the entire sun phase cycle. I would like to at some point, but it's just something that I haven't really gotten to. I do, however, kind of, I guess I do more the last suggestion I said about the jumping in and jumping out. I've done that. So I think I'm starting to ramble a little much, and I need to edit this video and upload it and do another one anyway. So remember, stay tuned. There's going to be another video. It's going to be announcing the... Well, I'll let you be surprised. Just stay tuned and watch the other video. Alright, as always, think outside the cauldron, my darlings, and blessed be. Please like and share my business Facebook page, The Sacred Circle. Feel free to leave a message if you want oracle reading or a spell to be cast for you. Thank you and blessed be.